What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's having a great day. I tell you what, I am so happy and excited that Micah Parsons is there at practice. And see, here's what you may not understand. Football, you know what? We always hear people saying players, they're not a team player, man, because they're greedy and so on, right? We always hear that. And the thing is about it is, I want you to understand that when a player outperforms their contract, the team doesn't go through and say, you know what, we're going to be a team player and we're going to look out for the player. Because you can look at it and say, when they drafted Dak Prescott, if Dak Prescott had basically been a camp body or a career backup quarterback, you could say that his $680,000 a year salary for the first 3 years and $2 million, which was extra money that came from the NFLPA because he outperformed this thing, you would say that that was a reasonable amount to play for a guy that doesn't play. But for him, he way outperformed his contract. It was never the team was like, we're going to give you another contract. No. And when the team had the opportunity after 3 years to say, we're going to go ahead and pay you and give you extra because you've outperformed it, they didn't do that. In a team like, for example, Cleveland, whatever you think about Deshaun Watson, they came up with a contract that they were comfortable with. And now they're trying to figure out how we can get away without paying them. Contract's a contract, right? They're trying to see how they can screw them. So here's what you have to understand is with players, you have to play a certain amount of time to get vested interest in there, where you're going to be able to get health insurance and things like that, right? So Damar Hamlin, when he literally died on the field, let's say he came back and he could never play football again, the team wouldn't owe him any more money. He wouldn't have health care for the rest of his life because he hadn't played long enough. So you understand, this is what you're dealing with when you're talking about the NFL. The NFL, who came up with, this concussion protocol to help take care of players after they're out of the NFL. Well, guess what? Here's one that's interesting for you. They said basically minority players, that their cognitive ability was lower to start out with than non-ones, and said that, nope, you're about where you're supposed to be, and then didn't pay them. So I've set the table for them. Now, Micah Parsons, who's on the last year of his deal, right? Typically, when there's a contract dispute, the players don't want to show up and do that. The players don't want to come in and work out to begin with. Because if Micah Parsons, if something happens to him and he gets hurt and can't play again, well, thanks a lot. We appreciate you being here. So he's now taking the risk to be there where the Cowboys, if something happens, don't have to ever pay him another cent other than what the contract is for this year. And so that's where you have to understand, you got to protect the franchise, and you're the franchise. You are an independent contractor. You get a 1099 at the end of the year, and you're responsible for all your taxes and your, everything. You are responsible for it. So for Micah to come in, work out, be part of the team and part of the organization, and doing all of those things, he's put his hand out here to say, you know what? I'm here about the team. I'm here doing everything. And now here's where it gets to be interesting, because, I love how, Momo, I hate to keep pounding on you, but you're always saying, well, Micah Parsons, he's not a great tackler, with the run stopping. Yeah, But we're talking about a guy who in 13 games had 12 sacks and 90 pressures. I'll give you another better one. How about this? Because we'll just take the first 5 games out of the equation. After he came back from injury, he had 11 sacks in 8 games. 11 sacks in 8 games. If he plays like that for a full season, we're talking getting close to, we're talking over 20 sacks. We're talking over 20 sacks in a season. And to go through and say, well, I'm not sure if that guy's worth it. Yo, bro. He's over 50 sacks in his career in 4 years. The list is Reggie White and Micah Parsons. The Dallas Cowboys shouldn't walk to get this thing done. They just go do it. Just go get this thing done right now. And I would go ahead and say, you know what? Since you showed up, we're going to make it $41 million a year. We're going to make you $750,000 higher than any non-quarterback and get this thing done before TJ Watt. If the Cowboys now go through and they string this thing out like they've done with CeeDee Lamb, with Dak Prescott, with Zeke Elliott, with D-Law, then they're just a bunch of a-holes.
Jesus.
Okay.
Speak.
So, you call it out and they come out. So I'm trying not to cuss y'all. I'm trying to do better. Yeah.
A-holes is not much better.
I didn't say the full thing. A-hole. What?
She said terrible.
Everybody's got one.
Okay. Let's stop talking about it. How about that?
Okay. I mean, where would we be? We would be full of a whole lot of it if we didn't have one.
God.
Where would it all go? So, okay, then let me come up with a more politically correct term then. They would just be a bunch of greedy biatches. No, that's not even that. That's ain't right. No, I'm sorry. A-hole fits because there's no good reason. There's no good reason not to get it done at this point. None.
You're right. It's appropriate.
There is zero. I can't see how you say, well, we need to see some more leaves fall off the trees. You want to be a leader? He's there without the new contract, working out with his teammates to get better. He has performed on the field as one of the top players in the NFL. He has gone through and he has done everything proper on and off the field. There's no reason not to get it done. That's right. All righty, good people. As always, I appreciate y'all and keep the faith. I have a feeling that this is going to be a much better year. And in fact, I'm going to say I've got coming up, I got to get my numbers together, and I'm freestyling. But I've got numbers to prove that Dak Prescott is going to have a bomb year. Bomb a year. Okay.
Okay, there's a difference between ass and a-hole.
Okay, it's going to have a bomb ass year. All right. Peace out.